Everybody, welcome back to the VoV podcast, Voices of Vic. Today, I'm joined with second-year economics student and international relations student, David Zhang. Nice to have you, man.
It's a pleasure being here. It's a really nice day outside. Crazy storm last night.
Absolutely.
But we move. Right now, it's gorgeous. Golden hour. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Many would consider you, I don't know if I might just be saying this, first year, would you consider yourself the king of Vic?
The king of
The
Vic?
king of Vic.
Nah, that's like Glenn this year.
That is Glenn this year. That's what I was going to say. This year, maybe not. I think Glenn kind of stole that throne.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Last year, I mean, for the longest time, I didn't know your last name. I just called you David Pineapples for the whole time from your music. That's your music name, right?
Yes.
How did that start?
It started like a 6th grade username, and I basically just kept it because like I was too lazy to change it on Instagram, and pretty much every year I go through like a debate on whether to change it back or not. I have now, but when I started like in quarantine, I started like writing songs and making stuff with my producer, and he, when we had to type in like our Spotify username and stuff, I did not know what else to put. So I put it there. And I was kind of stuck with it for a while. Like, it doesn't have any meaning whatsoever. Like,
no.
That's just for the record. Like, that's why now I've changed it back to just my own name. But it's interesting to have that association. But the era's over.
I agree.
Yeah.
I know that there is an association for sure. But yeah, like a lot of my friends, honestly, just whenever we have to, like, when you filled out this form, we only refer to you as David Pineapples. It's just a nickname now. So I don't know if you like that or if you want that, gone, but I think that's pretty cool. So why don't you tell everyone kind of your background and what makes you such a G?
Okay, so maybe to start, I was born in Victoria Hospital, which is why I chose Vic.
Nice.
That's why I'm here. I was born in Montreal, grew up mostly around Asia, China, and Singapore. And then I moved to the States when I was 15, went to high school there, and then now I'm here. It's a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why U of T out of all places?
I honestly did not want to come here. This was like my last choice. It's a great school and all, but like I did not want to come back to Canada. It seemed like a bit of a step back to me.
Yeah.
But the domestic tuition, which I qualified for, was really cheap compared to the 60,000 American dollar tuition back there. 100%. So it's all right. It's a good time here overall, I would say.
I would think that you've made some good friends in your first 2 years. You wouldn't change it at this point. But how would you, I guess, quantify the relationships that you started here? Is this something that only pertains to Vic, or do you think that you could, just pull this sort of social dynamic that you got going on anywhere else?
That's a hard question to answer, right? Like, I feel like that's the social dynamic, like that concept. It's like a term where I wouldn't able to like define it, and you put one person like in different scenarios, like, and give them like a year to like mingle and mix with people in different places. It's going to be like drastically different results. And it's one personality there, right?
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm very grateful for the people I met at Vic and at U of T. And I like to think that this is like the best fit for me overall. But that's hindsight bias. I just think I got really lucky with like everything overall, because I was first placed in Chelsea Hotel, like,
oh yeah,
as my residence. So I made my mom like cry over the phone to Wanda and like to give me a spot at Vic, because I knew like I wouldn't be able to like meet people there the same way, right? So got lucky in a lot of ways. I went from Chelsea to RJ, and then I like asked him to move me to Margad, because I wasn't trying to live with like 7 people in a suite with like a roommate I didn't know. And then once I moved into Margad, I saw an empty room down the hall, which I was like, I hit up my roommate who I met like over the summer, like on Instagram. And I was like, you trying to move there? So I ended up with like a single room.
In COVID era, it was a lot of super singles. I don't know if did you get one of those?
I mean, I had a double that turned into a single.
Right.
So
Yeah. It was it was a double room, but because they didn't have enough people to fill the buildings, that some people just got placed with no roommate in a double room.
Yes.
Which I got too, which was sick.
That was sick.
Big fan.
Did you put your beds together, or was it?
No. I had a paper bed. One of my it's not made of paper, but I had a bed that I strictly used for like my homework and documents. So people would come and be like, "Why do you got loads of like sheets?" It was just scattered all over my bed. That's what I used that for. Would you slip in the crack? You put the two together, you're gonna have a line down.
I know, it's so bad, like especially for like my exact height, like my spine, like the worst part like fits at the crack, and I tried to stuff it with a lot of different things like IKEA pillows, IKEA blankets, blah 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 blah.
Shout out to IKEA.
Shout out to IKEA, I guess. Yeah, like meatballs and but no, it was good for like sleepovers. Like you could have like 4 people, but it wasn't maximum comfort, and I always stuck to sleeping on one of the 2.
Makes sense.
That's where we were at. I made the desk though like an L shape.
Oh, that's cool.
Studio.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Like in the corner, you just shoved it in the corner.
Not in the corner. I just had one desk like this way, one desk like this way, and like my chair like I just go.
That's professional. Switch between the two.
Yeah.
Double
for,
screen
like, gaming,
maybe. Yeah.
For, like homework.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Residence it's a fun experience. Like I said, I'm trying to get. Well, I said this off camera. I'm trying to get back into res for third year.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get into RJ with a couple of my buddies. We'll see how that goes. But are you looking to do res again next year? Or?
Well, this year I'm kind of doing what you are looking to do next year. I'm living at RJ with some people that I met in first year.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Like we have a suite. It's like 4 of us, 2 a side, 1 bathroom per side, massive like common room. We got a TV in there as well, so it's good living. But I think next year, like all things considered, I think I'm gonna try living off campus, get like a 12-month lease, stay here over the summer, hopefully to work like a co-op or internship, and then 4th year come back to res.
4th year come back to res.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you like about residence that you would make you want to come back? Because a lot of people just can't wait to leave res. I don't know why. I think it's a sick gig, obviously, because I want to stay. Just don't need to cook and all that sort of stuff. But what attracts you to staying in residence? What are the pros and cons?
I mean, same as you. Like I can like maybe make like chicken breast and stuff like that, but I'm not a good cook by any means. So that's definitely a big plus. It's very convenient, and like I know like recently, like this gets slightly political, but like there has been like student fee increase for like residence and meal plan fees.
Yeah.
But to put it into perspective, like with like the neighborhood Vic is in, like Charles Street West, Bloor, Bay, right next to Yorkville, like the rent prices are sky high in Toronto, and res prices are not like horribly bad. So that's, not really a con. I can't really think of any cons on res except like quiet hours maybe. But I feel like as another thing is like, in America, everyone pretty much lives in the dorms like all 4 years. And I think it's a time where you're not really going to have the chance to have like after you're done with uni, right?
That's true.
Like you're just going to have to live in an apartment and then live with your kids, whatever. Like I think this is a really unique experience. So
I agree.
You got to cherish it.
Absolutely. You have to cherish it. Yeah. Before those darn kids come in, ruin your life. Basically. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. You are an athlete as well. Play soccer?
I play soccer. Yes.
Is that your main sport?
Yeah. I played soccer since I was really young. I watch a lot of soccer.
Yeah.
You play hockey, right?
Hockey.
That's your thing. Are you the captain?
I am the captain, of the Vic team. It's a fun time. You watch soccer. I can watch the World Cup. Any other soccer? Here's my thing with soccer. There are too many leagues. Are there not too many leagues?
I mean, that just goes to show how big the sport is, right?
I guess, but wouldn't you prefer all the best players to be in one league? Is there not a league like that?
There's the Champions League, which is like a knockout format competition with like top teams from each country qualifying and stuff like that. Okay. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it and stuff?
Yeah. Whenever I bring that up, people say Champions League, but it sounds more like a tournament than a league, no?
It is more of a tournament.
Yeah.
That's fair. There are talks of having a super league come in.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Very backed by like the FIFA like money giants.
Yeah.
I think most football fans would agree that that's not a good move.
I've heard. James Corden was complaining about it on one of the videos on his talk show, because like apparently it's like ruining the idea of like the small, community cheering for their team. It's like just a money grab.
Yeah, and especially like think about it, like NHL, NBA, NFL, all of these have a draft system, right?
Yeah.
And it benefits like the teams performing less well. In soccer, there's no such thing, and like the big teams continue to be elite because they're rich, they can afford better players. There's just no protection there.
Yeah.
And if that comes in, that's a lot of money being taken away from the smaller teams.
That's a good point.
More inequality.
Would you be in favor of like a salary cap coming in?
I mean, there's like financial fair play rules where like teams have to like maintain their expenditure like ratio, like how much they can like have a loss over a certain period of time, and those are a thing. So basically salaries can't be too high unless you want like one good player and the rest to be like terrible.
Makes sense.
I think more of these rules would be good because there's a lot of like billionaire club owners in soccer who, like, for example, Chelsea's new owners are American, like very rich, like 4.25 billion net worth.
Wow.
And I think like they gotta like make some changes, man. Like, don't want to ruin the sport, like,
I know what you're saying. No, I completely agree. Like, I think the MLB, they have some sort of luxury tax, but that kind of defeats the purpose of a salary cap. I think that, I don't know, just making it so that all the teams can be equally competitive is huge, because like that's essentially what sports are kind of meant for. If it's just a money game, then it doesn't feel like, you know what I mean? Like it just feels unauthentic.
Yeah. I mean, there's the MLS soccer league, which functions almost exactly like the other North American sports leagues.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that like turns out, because it's like relatively newer than the other leagues for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see what kind of talents they're going to be able to bring in, and maybe the European clubs will follow suit.
Completely. Who got you into soccer? Any family members play, or?
My dad was like a semi-pro badminton player, so it's like kind of the opposite of soccer, if anything. I was in Singapore, and I think I went to like an international school, and a lot of people there were like crazy over the South Africa World Cup, like the Waka Waka. Yeah. So I started like trading player cards back in the day. So I didn't really play like soccer until like middle school, like a lot of soccer. No, like I don't think I had a backyard or anything. Like I didn't have time to train, but I got into it in middle school, and I've loved it since.
Absolutely. Is that the only intramural sport you play?
I played basketball.
I did see you on that post, actually.
Yeah, I played like last year and this first semester, but like I can't anymore because like another commitment.
Yeah, I know, it's time.
Yeah, but basketball, like I love watching basketball. I think it's like the most entertaining.
Yeah.
But like I'm not tall. I'm not that good. So yeah.
What do you think about the Durant trade?
Where did he go?
I don't know. I thought he got traded. I don't watch basketball either.
Yeah, I stopped following basketball since like 2 years ago, to be honest.
Okay, we were gonna get into a basketball discussion, but none of us knew anything. That's funny. We'll go back to music then.
Yes.
Are you? Did you stop creating? Like you have an EP out, right? That you made during.
I made that like coming out of like right before university, because I had a lot of time in my hands. A summer where I didn't even have like a part-time job.
Yeah,
I was like traveling with my family a bit, but the rest of it, it's like straight up just for whatever creative stuff I wanted to do. And that's where like we got together, like me and my producer, who's like, he's like my age, but like he knows a lot of the Logic Pro. And
what's his name?
His name's Ryan. Shout out Ryan.
Yeah.
He goes to Cornell.
Nice.
Does architecture there. He's still like playing around with beats
cool.
little bit. I met a guy who's also at Vic. Let's try to get him onto this podcast. I'm gonna tell him about this.
What's his name?
His name's Nathan.
Nathan.
He's a 4th year.
Nathan Ching?
Yes.
He was on like 5 hours ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he applied. Yeah, we did the episode today.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he did the photography for your, what was it, a drumming picture?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked to him. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, it's not gonna be 5 hours for people watching. Like, I don't know. It might have been like 5 weeks ago. I have no idea.
Right.
But in today, yeah, we recorded today. That's funny.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, shout out Nathan again.
Yeah, shout out Nathan.
He's very talented as well. He has his own band. I feel like
you
guys might have talked about it. Like they filmed a music video like the other day, and very professional equipment and stuff like that. But I don't know, like I haven't found enough time to really like be like at peace with myself to really focus on music, because I feel like if I'm juggling a bunch of stuff, it's just like I've written a couple of songs just with me and my guitar, and I bought some equipment that actually Nathan has in his house right now.
Nice.
I just kind of gave it to him, but maybe one day I'll pick it back up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that extracurricular stuff like really important to you, or are you kind of school first, if I have time, then other stuff, or do you try to balance both?
I think like this is like such a like Dawn interview kind of question, because like I feel like they always ask like work-life balance type stuff.
Yeah.
And my go-to answer to that question, which is it is how I feel, is like I feel like naturally you'll try to strive for a balance in your life regardless. And like U of T is a lot of work, but I feel like there's different kinds of things that I have to do, like commitment to academics and clubs or whatever, and like part-time jobs and stuff like that. Those can just kind of be breaks for each other. And like, you know, you have like your rest time, your social time and stuff like that. So overall, like I would say like they're all in the same priority level.
That's a good way to look at it. I never thought about that, how you can have like a bunch of stuff going on and they're, like you said, like breaks from each other almost. Like I could be hampered down into studying for Eco 200, whatever, but then I can come do this. And some people would see it as, oh, I have to study and then I have to record. Instead, it's like, okay, I have to study now, but I won't need to study later. I'll get to record later. And then after I've recorded a bunch, I get to go back to study. Now,
yeah.
I'm not saying I have a blast studying. Obviously, sometimes it can be dreadful, but no, that's good, man. Yeah. What is the plan after uni? Yeah. Do you look that far into the future or no?
I mean, I have to think, right? Like, it's for me, I'm not too much of an academic, I would say. Like, I enjoy what I study for the most part, but not to the level where I want to like do my own research in econometrics or whatever that like realm. I know you guys did an interview with Francesca.
Yeah.
I do, like, she carries my like Eco 202 homework group, so also shout out to her. She's a lot more obsessed with that than I am.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely gonna work for 2 years after graduation, and maybe I'll do like an MBA.
Yeah.
If anything, and that's like if like what I want to do requires it, or I think I can benefit from it. But I think I'm done with school for the most part. So yeah. Yourself though? Like, what about you?
Yeah, I don't see grad school. I don't think that's my path. I'm not much of an academic either. It's weird saying that at U of T. You know what I mean? Like usually you think the people that go here would be more inclined for that stuff, but what am I going to do after university, man? That's a good question. Just keep my eyes open. Yes, find opportunities. Like I'm trying to start this. This is another thing. Like I feel uncomfortable just doing the things I need to. Like just if I were to just study, I'd lose my mind. Like it would be terrible. So yeah, that's just me. Main thing, just keep my eyes open. You know, try to not miss any chances, and extracurricular stuff like that balance that you're talking about is key for that. Yeah. You are a fan of traveling. Have you traveled much?
I've been to a fair amount of countries, I would say. One of my friend's dad has this rule of thumb where he needs to been more countries than his age.
Oh wow.
And that's a rule that I would love to be able to follow.
Yeah.
I recently turned 20, so now the countries I visited is exactly equal to my age.
Nice.
Which is fine. I like that.
That's good.
But yeah, I've been to a few countries in Europe, like England, France, Spain, Portugal, Italy.
Is it just for vacation stuff?
I used to do like a reality TV show, and they got us like after like 2 years. I eventually got the chance to go to England and Italy with them, to just film street videos and pranks and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the rest is traveling.
Very cool.
What about you?
Bro, I follow the rule, visit as many countries as a quarter of my age. So yeah, I've gone to Canada, US, Mexico, and Dominican Republic. That's about it.
Chill.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Like, there are people who've only been to one or two. So yeah, I know it's definitely something that my mom's a big fan of. She wants to see the world. She's a big, like, she that's just an interest she has. So travel's huge on her list. Yeah, eventually I want to see places. I'm not too pressed about it right now. I don't think that I wouldn't say I've missed out. Like, if I were to travel, I would want to be doing it for purpose, and yeah, taking the culture in that. But yeah, no, it's not like a very big thing for me right now. That's the thing. Like, there are cultures that I'd love to experience. I'm sure that you've seen just that being able to compare the way, countries are, like, people are in certain countries, which is really cool. But yeah, I guess it's not a huge thing. One day.
Yeah.
One day, definitely.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, when you're going to visit different places, you're in different ages, you're seeing things from like a different lens. So
That's
like
true.
There's a lot of value in traveling, like, pretty much whenever. You don't have to be like whatever, young and energetic.
Completely.
So
do you think that you could live a complete life without seeing the world?
I mean, that's like the ignorant is bliss part, right? Like, I was kind of forced, fortunately forced to like leave my birthplace when I was 2 months old and like pretty much move around every like year or so because of my mom's job. Mm-hmm. And I was blessed to see so many different sides of the world and like how things like interact with each other and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to like stick to one place. Like, for example, Michael Scott like stayed in Scranton his whole life, and he knows everything about the city. I could never be able to. I don't really know how to say where I'm from. Like, if someone asks me, I have to explain for like at least 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. What else do you believe, like, if there are things that you need to accomplish in your life, like to kind of fulfill that bucket list, maybe like what are some key things? Obviously there are, like, I'm not asking for a bucket list, but what are like some big milestones that you're looking to get to eventually?
Big milestones. There's like a few things like kind of more shorter term here at U of T that because like this month I have like only the 200 exam and I think one more thing to do. Like academically, I think it's like my break. So I'm trying to like do as many things as possible like that revolves the realm of being a university student. Mm-hmm. So I tried to write for the varsity for the first time. I'm doing the library project where I'm trying to visit all 44 libraries at U of T with 44 different people. I'm on, next one's number 10. So let me know if you want to sign up on mine as well.
That's cool. Yeah.
In terms of like things that I want to start a startup. I have been going to like entrepreneurship events at U of T and just kind of around, and it's really cool like seeing these people, like, because we are living in a city where like a lot of things are taken for granted are like really developed. Like, there's not that much inefficiencies in our lives, but like these people are able to like see like little things that could be better, and like they like start like a startup and make it better. And I don't have like the technical background for that at all. Like, I'm not an engineer or comp sci student or anything like that. Yeah. But I would love to be able to find someone who is like more technical than I am and found something together. Preferably like in, like an industry that I would love to just work in overall. And that ties into like the future, like whatever I do, I definitely want it to be like fun. I want to like love my job.
Completely.
That's for sure.
Yeah. People, like you said, people talk about like work-life balance as if they're two separate things. I think that the dream state to kind of get to is where work and life are kind of like one thing. You know what I mean? If you can mix the two and love your job so much that you don't even see it as like going to work, that would be amazing. That's kind of like what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. And like those, you know, those stories out there, the Steve Jobs or whoever like spent an extremely large amount of time building up something because they were passionate about it. Yeah. Like they say like, oh yeah, like I'm not going to be able to spend 23 hours a day thinking about something. But like, if you are really passionate about it, like I genuinely believe like with being like, if you have the right resources, any like idea or passion can come to existence. It might not, like the startup might fail, but like if you are really passionate about it, like you'll find a way to like get it going at the very least.
Completely.
Yeah.
You just can't stop thinking about it. That like, I was trying to get this thing started during reading week. Dude, my screen time, you should have seen, because I had an issue with it where it was too high. I was like, this is not good. So I tried to, you know, drop it down, but reading week just right back up. I literally couldn't stop just working on it. And that's the thing, like it doesn't feel like work because I'm super passionate about this too. Yeah. So it was just like natural. And if you find someone who has like an actual, I guess, like you said, passion or desire or a force that's pushing them to do this, other than, you know, just, I guess the maybe it's the financial reward, or maybe it's just a responsibility. Someone who wants to do it themselves so badly, that's a dangerous person. They could get very far.
Yes.
Completely. What did I want to say? I'm going to talk more about what makes a fulfilling life. Do you think that family is necessary? Do you see that for your future, you know, having a wife and kids one day?
Yes. I mean, like I am kind of go with the flow. Like right now, like I'm an only child. And I think I would want to have more than one kid, and I want to start like a medium-sized family. Nothing too much, like not more than like a SUV can handle. But yeah, like definitely family is really important. My mom, like, I guess the reason, like I'm kind of like business oriented, like driven by that nowadays. But my mom is a big like businesswoman. Pretty much all her career was focused in that. And I hated it at the start. Like that's why I didn't like choose Rotman Commerce. You know, I wanted to do like sociology and like gender studies or something when I was like applying to school. And then kind of like life just kind of hit me one step at a time, and I realized like I have to create like value somehow to society, and for myself. They are both big inspirations on who I am today. My dad, he is like a very philosophical guy. Compared to my mom, not much of a workhorse at all, but he kind of shaped a lot more of my values and my openness to things, I would say. And my mom is very driven, so definitely very heavily influenced by them. Like every time I have something coming up, like an important thing, like an interview or whatnot, I will always like go to both of them and hear what they have to say.
That's good. Like you said, you're very go with the flow. Are you in a relationship right now?
I am.
You are?
I am.
How long?
It's coming up to 2 months.
Nice.
Yeah, like I think I put like relationships as one of the topics I would want to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think I would want to talk about it in more of like a philosophical sense.
Oh yeah.
That's, I don't know, like with me and like a lot of my friends right now, well, it has been for like the past months or maybe even years. We've just been exploring the concept of like, what is love, you know?
Yeah.
So
with each other?
Yeah, with each other.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, I guess that is a good question. It's have for years you've been exploring this. What do you mean? What do you mean when you say explore?
No, like we, you know, those like 2-3 a.m. conversations.
Yeah.
Just about like finding a partner or like what is there to really like look for in terms of like, you know, like you're probably getting more stability or something into your life when you're with someone, when you're dating someone, but it's like, what exactly is it that makes us want that, as opposed to like being happy with just like who you are and stuff like that. Since I started dating someone, I stopped having these conversations as much, just because like I feel like I have less to say now, which is maybe why I put this down, but I don't really know what to say about this whole thing.
What do you look for when you're, I guess, finding a partner? Whether it's, first I'll ask you, what do you look for before you're in a relationship? Because there are also things once you get into the relationship, different, you know, aspects that you want to learn about a person. But before you start dating someone, what's the David Pineapple's, you know, vet system? What boxes do they have to check?
Again, like I'm very no boxes really. It's just a vibe, right?
Just a vibe.
At the end of the day, like there's.
I wish I could do that. I it's hard for me to kind of have that sense with a person. It's more just like very rigid. Like,
I mean, then I would love to direct that answer.
Back to me. Oh
like,
man,
what would you say are the boxes?
Oh, that's a good question. I probably shouldn't have asked something I don't want to answer myself. Oh, that's tough. I mean, obviously, everyone's naturally attracted to physical beauty. That's a given. Other than that, someone that's, I guess, kind of easy to be around, you know, looking for a girl who's happy. Like, I just like being around happiness. I'm not trying to say like that you can't have your down moments. Obviously everyone does. It's just a person who has a very kind of light approach to life. That's like an energy like I kind of enjoy being around. It's kind of opposite to how I personally live. Like I'm very, like I said, I'm very rigid. I'm very hard on certain aspects of my life. So to have someone I can just kind of like cool down with, someone that, you know, makes everything about life so much more simple and kind of puts me at ease. That's I guess that's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think those are like too specific of boxes. I think these are just like stuff that comes naturally as well. Because
kind of sounds like a vibe now that I think about it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think we're kind of in the same boat in the sense that like what I found as well is like I definitely would love to have someone who can like put me at ease and like calm me down. Like I get pretty intense at certain things, like competition. Like I'm a pretty competitive person. Yeah. Like even in like everyday life, like I found out from one of my friends recently that I have like an absolute 100% tendency to push the elevator button. If it's like many people in the elevator, I have to be the one to push it.
Yeah. Same
for like opening doors, all of these things. So I think it's good to have like a complementary person, you know, that's the whole, that's why people call it the other half.
There you go. Yeah. Completes you. Do you think opposites attract?
Yeah. But I think I would like to think of it more as like a puzzle piece situation where, you know, there's like a concavity and whatever the other word is. Yeah. And like you have to like find like that fit, and people change over time, which is why like you have to like constantly like communicate with each other about like changes in your life and like how you feel and stuff like that. And yeah.
Awesome. Do you, I don't know if your partner is going to see this, do you date to marry?
No, I'm just, again, like,
go with the flow.
I guess that's going to be like the caption of the video or something, right? I
kind of see where it takes you.
I don't date to marry. Like if anything, like I enter a relationship or any kind of like friendship or like, you know, like not like a dating relationship with anybody, I will just see where it goes, right? Like I have pretty strong values of my own that if they like don't really fit it at first, like I probably wouldn't, become too close with them anyways.
That's true.
But like eventually, like I will marry someone, but like that's when my like I think I would have to be really like at peace with myself. And I feel like right now, like our age, like at least for me, I feel like is a time where things change a lot, like externally, internally, everything. Our frontal lobes are not developed fully and stuff like that. So I definitely don't date to marry. Yeah.
To answer the question. Nice. We talked about what is after uni. Do you have internships that you're looking at right now, later?
Yeah, like I think after university, like the way I want to go about it is like to work in like a big consulting place, because this way I can get to learn about various industries without like committing to one. Because I mean, I know I love like the entertainment and sports sector, but cool. That's also kind of what's most in demand, right? Like everyone wants to work for those because that's like the coolest jobs out there.
True.
And I don't want to like for the money choose like a steel company. Like no hate to steel, like very important object.
Yeah.
But like I don't think I'd be able to commit to like an industry and become an expert at it. Like my mom works in oil.
Yeah.
And like that's not even that. Like all I'm saying is I want to be able to explore everything the world has to offer, and then like maybe do an MBA and then specialize. I kind of with the same like thought process as school in general. Like I find I don't want to like face the real world, and I want to like push everything back as much as possible. And in terms of internships, this summer is kind of rough for me in the sense that I got to go back to China, because I haven't been back in like 3.5 years because of COVID. So that's half my summer gone. So like those big companies, I'm not going to be able to work with this summer. I'm doing an internship at a startup, and it's like dog-centered events.
Cool.
I really like dogs.
Yeah.
And I chatted to like the owners and everything there. It seems like a really nice place to work, and I want to be able to like the benefit of that is like you do more hands-on things and you have a say like actually in like what a company does. But like next summer, which is why I didn't want to live on res, is because I definitely want to stay here the whole time and like do like a like good like big internship or something. Yeah.
Is China still, do they have a lot of heavy restrictions still? Is that going to be an issue? Yeah.
They like suddenly lifted all of them like
really?
In like November, December, and it was like the quarantine back then it was like 14 days, 21 days even. It got down to like 7 and then 5 and then 3, now it's 0.
Nice.
It might be like 0 plus 3, you have to like stay home for 3 days, but it's not like I was gonna go outside anyways. So yeah. I'm really looking forward to go back though. It's been a really long time, and I feel like coming to the Western Hemisphere has definitely like taught me a lot of new values and perspectives. But there's still the whole side of China and my relatives that like I have so much ties with, right?
Yeah.
And that's not going to change.
100%.
So,
what is your reason or your, I guess, philosophy behind college involvement, like involvement in the community of Vic? I seem to see you around everywhere. Well, first of all, actually, I have a question first. What was the Pepsi costume thing that you guys had to do?
Oh, that was like for leadership hiring, like advertising.
Okay.
And it was like I didn't have anything to say with the theme. It was like make your leadership flavor pop.
Oh, okay.
Like different roles were assigned like different flavors. Mine was like orange, I think.
Yeah.
And we just shot like an advertisement for that.
Nice. So how'd you get into all that? Like what is, I guess, what's motivating you to involve yourself in all these community activities?
I think like definitely for starters, like compared to like domestic students, like I don't really have like any relatives within like 5,000 kilometers of where I am.
Yeah.
So, I have to find some belonging out here. when I'm on my own.
Absolutely.
Being a college student. So like that's why like I think before university started, I like looked into like Vic's like clubs and all that, and I was like thinking to myself like what would I want to do, and I kind of started really early on. I joined like the student council of Vic last year, which I think I went to one meeting in total the entire year because it was online and I didn't really like that aspect, but it got myself to like meet people who had different things going on. And this past summer I did like orientation leader, which was like not much work. You move some tables and you just kind of like live orientation, which is pretty nice. But like overall I just realized like I definitely am someone who needs to be like involved in a place, or else like I would be like maybe bored, or like I would just like kind of similar to what you said, like when you're doing things that you like it doesn't really feel like you're working or anything like that.
Completely.
Like for me it's like I wouldn't like want to do anything else in those times. Like why I applied to be a commuter don is like I'm spending like 10 hours a week at Goldring Student Center, and that's how much I have to work, and that's where I have to work. So
yeah,
that's like just making money doing what I want to do anyways.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Is there interviews for commuter dons?
Yeah, it's like the same process.
Same process
as residence dons.
I don't know how much you can share. Like I think it might be, I don't know if it's
I feel
top
like it
secret.
might be confidential, but like it's the same like carousel interview thing, and then like individual one. We haven't heard back about the individual ones yet, actually. Okay. So there's not much to share.
For the carousel, they put you in like situations you have to kind of react to. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like you're given like a scenario like where you're facing a student and you have to like alleviate their needs and like kind of just do the right thing but not like intrude their space, like find that balance.
I see. Any final thoughts for the people at home?
Like guys, like it's a really short life at the end of the day. Like you see, like do you agree that like time's passing by really slow and really fast at the same time? Like you know, like every day feels like a long day sometimes, but like when you look back like a month, a week, or like a year, it feels like it's flown by. You have to be aware of it for sure. Yeah, like we're halfway almost done with university.
That's crazy. Like even saying that's crazy.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I put a countdown I set a timer for a countdown on the day of October 5th, 2085. 2085. That would be my 82nd birthday. I did that because the average life expectancy is 82. And I just saw the seconds ticking away from my life. I saw when I was going to die, and I was like, no way. So as soon as I saw that, it's pretty dark for like a little kid to do. But I definitely am aware that there are people who like are in their 40s who you hear about them saying, oh, time flew by. I can't believe when I look in the mirror, like I don't feel 40 or whatever it is. So I am very conscious of that speed. Like you need to do everything today, not tomorrow, because then it's going to be tomorrow and all the opportunities going to fly by.
Something like that. Yeah. And like, yeah, like turning 20 was like really, really emotional, low key. Like I remember waking up like the morning I turned 20, like on the day, and I just could not get out of bed.
Damn.
I did not want to face the world, no longer being a teenager.
Yeah.
It was tough. But like on a more optimistic note, like summer's coming. Yeah, short season. All things considered, it's a great day. Thank you for having me in this podcast.
100%.
This has been like a really great like format, and like I think that your voice, like in terms like this interview, it feels really professional.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Keep doing what you do.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate it.
Good to
Nice
have
having you.
Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll catch you again next week.
Peace.
See ya.
That was in sync.
Yeah. I don't know which one she got on the cameras, but figure it out. Nice.